Hello everybody, we have a voice. Greetings from Australia. I don't know how this is going to go. Never done this before.
Getting ready for this one.
But there you go.
For this pitching phenom. Does
Interesting
she
concept.
have another dominant performance in her today? It's the
Not sure
Cleveland
why I'm not getting
Guardians
the
going
commentary
up
coming
against the
through,
Chicago White Sox. And
yeah.
we'll be back for
Anyway,
the first pitch right after this.
we'll see how we go.
Next is the DH.
So Bailey's up at the plate at the moment.
She is quite an athlete.
Been doing too well. She's been doing very well. She's got 3 homers last game, I think. Let's see what she can do here. Doesn't look too good. Yeah, okay. So we're going to get to third, I think. Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah, so I'm very new to this. I hope that you will give me a chance to sort of find my footing, basically. I have been mucking about with sound files and all of that, and I've decided to, for all games, because I know that you have it for home games, but I think I might just have my walk-up track for all games, and yeah. Now, I was thinking of trying to steal home here, but I'm a bit too slow. I've seen other people do it, and I do want to try it myself, and see how we go, but didn't have to in that case. Did rather well. Nice hit, actually.
Barrel directly to the baseball and good long extension.
Yeah, so maybe I don't know what you expect. I can give you a bit of a background. So I've been playing with Bailey as a character since last year. I had another female character. When they first said that they were announcing female players, I said, oh, cool. Because I'd much rather look at a girl on the field than a boy on the field, to tell you the truth. And I embraced it, and I said, okay, I'm going to play as a girl player. And my first pioneer, I guess you'd say, I had a bit of a dubious name. I might be in my older years, but I still have a teenage boy's brain sometimes when it gets down to it. And yeah, it was very teenage boy-like. I named her Magic, was her first name, Magic Beaver. And then I changed it part of the way into the playthrough to Lucy Beaver, and then Lucy Magic Beaver. But anyhow, I thought I'm going to pick something a bit more appropriate, and so I've gone with Bailey Bliss last year, and I got the name Bailey from because that's right. She, I think she got drafted to, or no, I think Lucy Beaver got drafted to what do you call it? Traded to Cincinnati, and it reminded me of a TV show I used to watch in the late 70s and early 80s called WKRP in Cincinnati. And I just started singing that all the way through. And I thought, I might see if I can find some episodes and watch them. Remind me. And it's a typical 70s sitcom show about a radio station. So with all the 70s jokes and all the bad clothing and everything that you would expect from that time. And there was a character in there called Bailey, and I think she was like
Close to the immaculate inning, and she just couldn't find the zone right
sports
there.
reporter or something like that.
9
Anyway, I
straight
thought,
strikes, so
okay.
tough to do.
And I like to go through names that
Stays
that the
alive.
announcers can say. You know, I know Trevor Martin just goes by Dirk Dingers each year. And I'm surprised that Dingers isn't in the commentary, you know, because why shouldn't it be? You know?
1, 2, 3, go White Sox. They
So,
trail things here, 2-0.
yeah, that's what I went with. I went with Bailey, and I went with Bailey Bliss, because I like the alliteration.
Have firmly established themselves as top
And
contenders around halfway through the
yeah,
season.
so I've got
This is a
a
great
couple of
showing
other
for a
characters.
group that
I've
looks
got
even a little stronger than
and
expected.
They've been a
I
tough
think
group to beat
one
so
of them's in
far.
there.
They were
One of
looking
them's
like
a short,
team that could make some noise
short
going into the year, and
batter, and her name's Coco Cola.
Do they think they have enough to make a
Yeah,
deep
again,
October run
a
as
bit of a
is?
play. But she's a centre fielder like Bailey is, and she's 5'2", and it doesn't work because she can't get up high enough to bring the ball back. So they are, you know, they are home runs pretty much each and every time. I think in about, I don't know, 80 attempts, I think she's managed to stop 2. Whereas Bailey, being quite a tall, and for my main characters, they are tall females. I've got Bailey at 6'7". When she started the game, I think she was 6'5" or 6 foot. No, she could have been 6'4". And but she was 18, so she was still growing. She still had some growth spurts. And I topped her out at 6'7". It's pretty good for a pitcher because they can sort of really bear down with the ball. So I've been told. I mean, I don't know a lot about baseball. Being in Australia, we're not a baseball nation. I know we've got Travis Bazzana now over there, doing quite well from what I hear. And he is on Cleveland, and that's Bailey first started off on the Rays. She got drafted by the Rays, and she played there for 6 seasons. And then during free agency, she decided to go elsewhere, and she ended up on the Guardians for a couple of reasons. So a teammate would be Travis Bazzana. And also there appeared to be what I believe to be a girl on that team at third base called Christine Dietrich. Well, unfortunately Travis was traded the day before Bailey joined the club, which was a bit of a bummer. And Christine Dietrich turned out not to be a woman, not to be another pioneering female player. She's a man. And you know, I mean, I've never met or heard of anyone called Christine who's a man, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist, obviously. Well, yeah, that's about it. Bailey's up to hit again. Yeah, also the fact that she's tall is great because another homer. You know, I don't know if it's true. I don't know if the game mechanics reflect this necessarily, but I just feel that a taller player is easier to get back to base should the pitcher decide to try and get you out. You know, you're taller, you've got longer arms, and yeah. And as soon as your reaction times are great, your speed is great, you can't be stopped really, or very seldom stopped. And so I do like it when they disengage, and I try to get each and every time I try to get the double disengagement, because I know the third time I do it, they're not going to, I'm just going to have a free run. Okay, Bailey's pitching now. I always tend, when I start off a game, I always tend to go for five pitches. Obviously, fastball, you want that to be going through as fast as possible. But also, I like the balls with lots of movement, like slurs and stuff like that. Sliders. Knuckleball, I love knuckleball. Although I don't know, I think in a recent update, the knuckleball doesn't look right now at the moment. So I'm not sure. We'll see how we go. But yeah, I've always liked knuckleballs. I like the chaos of a knuckleball. In real life, it's a lot more predictable in this game actually. But in real life, they can go anywhere, and I love that sort of anarchy, that chaos that they bring. Slurs are great. Usually when and you'll notice I have the suggestions put on.
This one popped up.
In some cases that's possibly a bit lazy, but I sort of figure, and I don't know if it's true, that the catcher has a bit of insider information and he's passing it on to me, and I just tend mostly to do what the catcher says. Okay, back up to bat. It's always, it's a relief. When I'm pitching, well, rather when Bailey's pitching, it's a relief to get at least one run on the board. Because I pretty much know that they're not going to get a run. The opposition team is not going to get a run generally. But you've always got that fear in the back of your mind. It's going to go away here. You've always got that in the back of your mind that there's that chance that they might be able to lift it over the wall, and all of a sudden you're down a run, or you're equal. And when that happens towards the end of the game, you might get pulled by the coach as a pitcher. And that would be disastrous, because when Bailey's pitching, she's absolutely controlling the game. But if she gets pulled, and there's another pitcher comes in, you don't know what's going to happen. All of a sudden, the opposition could pile on 5 runs, or 8 runs, or whatever. I think this game does have a tendency, like most of the other sports games, to do the scripting. So if a game is tight, in fact, I'm sure it does, because there are games where Bailey will get the first run on the board or something. If she goes, not opening, she hits second. But there have been times in previous playthroughs that she's been the opening hitter sort of thing. And you go through these games where you might put on 1 or 2 runs, and then straight away the opposition puts on 1 or 2, and it's this constant struggle and matching of scores, pretty much, And I think that's the scripting. I think the game says, well, they're going to win. I think that's the thing. I think the game's going to make the others win, because often you're behind, and my player, usually Bailey, will come out and she might hit a grand slam or something and get in front again. Well, sometimes she doesn't, and you just go down and that's it.
Tosses to first.
So, yeah, so Bailey has...
Shutout inning.
well, I
Down
might
in order go the White Sox.
continue that.
They still find
Oh,
themselves
no,
down.
she should come back out to pitch again for the next...
Bliss ready to work with a lead.
Yep.
Yeah,
So she has 5 pitches.
She just needs to throw strikes
And
and let the
I
defense
pretty
work
much
behind
will always pitch them in the box, you know, which is dangerous, you know, especially on higher levels, I would expect, because you could get hit all over the place. I don't really let the batter have the choice of chasing the ball. I like to pretty much just get them in the box all the time, which you can do pretty easily with the fastball. It doesn't deviate or move too much. But with your breaking balls, your slurves, your sliders, your splitters, and all that sort of stuff, they can go anywhere. And I don't usually call them if it's tight or the umpire declares it a ball or whatever. I don't do it with breaking balls because because they can go anywhere. I will mostly do it with fastballs because they are a lot more predictable. But again, it doesn't always work. You know, sometimes you think that it's going to be in, and it's pitched just outside the box. You know, which is unfortunate. You lose a
He's so comfortable with taking his bases to the opposite field, but he can jump you if you make a mistake.
It is what it is.
She's got to be pretty
yeah, so she tends to pitch inside the box all the time. Just because if they don't go for it, you know, if they just leave it, it's going to be a strike. If they do go for it, they might, a lot of times they'll miss it, and it's still going to be a strike. If they connect, well, you know, we'll see what happens. Usually when the opposition batters connect, it's a pop-up or a ground ball or something like that. And it's usually pretty weak.
Looking to complete the cycle with a double.
Bailey's back up to bat. Oh, another home. What's that now, too? That's a decent weapon. Yeah, as you can see, I'm on easier difficulties. I have the brain of a casual player, you know. And the reason why, and I do this with pretty much all the games that I play, I put them on the easier levels because I don't want to struggle, I don't want to challenge, I want a good fun game, you know. And usually in the case of sports games, I like my players to dominate wherever possible. Yeah, that's essentially it. But you know, also in city builders, I haven't played lately. And other simulation games and that sort of stuff, which is what I love to do, you know. Sniper games, as I stated in my blurb for my channel, I prefer sniper games rather than the run and gun sort of thing because I'm a lot uncoordinated, you know, and just by my nature, I tend to be a planner, plan my escape routes, plan what I'm going to do, etc., how I'm going to do it. I don't want the chaos of running through, streets of German soldiers or something like that, and be shooting and being shot at and all that sort of stuff. I'm a lightweight in that regard, I guess. But, you know, I mean, I want to enjoy the game, and I want to experience as much as I can about it. You know, I want to see things. And the lower difficulties do that. They allow you to sort of look around a bit more and relax a bit more and not be so pressured into those high-powered situations where you're about to die, and sometimes you will die. I mean, you'll die as well on the easier levels if you're not careful, or if you haven't planned things through properly. But yeah, I just like the experience of being able to see everything I can, try out everything I can, you know, have as much money or whatever to do the things I want to do and build what I want to build, if it's city or town planning or something like that. Back up to bat.
Coming off an absolute bomb in her last at-bat.
So when I start off a character like Bailey,
this one in the air center field. Under this one.
I usually will buy that bright 90s disco type bat, you know, because it's purple and pink and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, it might be a bit obvious being a girl going for pink or whatever, but I don't know, I think it's got a certain amount of femininity. I don't want to have like butch characters so much. Yeah. Pitching. I tried being a two-way player back when Shohei was on the cover. I think it was 21, was it? MLB 21 or something.
She can go anywhere she wants to go right here.
And it didn't work properly. You know, I don't know how long it took for them to fix it, but they fixed it after I'd stopped playing. You know, and it was a bit boring in that regard, and it didn't seem to work. You know, yeah, sure you'd be out there pitching, but I don't think you'd be hitting in the same game as well. I can't quite remember. Some of you out there might remember how it all went. But basically, there'd be days where you weren't doing anything, I think, you know, which is not ideal. You want to be out there as much as possible. And, yeah, just have fun. But then when, and in the previous games I would usually play, I don't know, 3 or 4 seasons, and then move on to another game, a different game. And last year, with my female characters, I think with Magic, I think she played for, I think it was in my 12th season, which is pretty epic because I'd never gone that far before. Bailey currently is in her 7th season. And on the one hand, I'm sorry I didn't start her off with a new game so you could see her development from the beginning, but I think that starting the series off where I have, it makes it a bit more interesting because what, you know, most creators don't do that. You know, most creators will like Trevor, will start it off and he'll play for a year or 2, maybe more a year than 2, I'd say. But and then he moves on to the next game. That's cool. You know, you can do what you want with these games, really. Play them the way you want.
She's one of the best players in the game.
But I thought, yeah, it's a bit interesting starting a series sort of a couple of months into the 7th season. You know, she's a veteran now, although is she a veteran? Oh no. I actually don't know enough about the sport to know when you have veterans, when they become veterans. But every now and again the announcers, the commentators, I should say, will say stupid things, as they always do. They'll say things like, how is she going to be a good prospect or something. And she's into her 7th season. I think she's past the prospect stage. I think she's established that she's a complete, takeover merchant. That she just bullies the game, being so overpowering. And that's what I was going to say with pitching. When you first start off again, and you just haven't built up those skills yet. Pitching is still very easy. It's a lot easier to be a good pitcher in the early stages than it is to be a good batter, a good hitter, because you still will miss the strikes and all that sort of stuff. Your strike rate as a hitter might be low compared to what it could be, but it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier as a pitcher. I decided to. Did she start off as a? I can't remember if she started off as a. I think she did start off as a right-hand hitter and a left-hand pitcher. I like that, and I got that from the commentary in the game. Where they say, it's just a bit different, hits right, pitches left, throws left. And I thought, I can do that. I don't care if I'm left-handed or right-handed. Let's see how we go. But partway into the game, partway into the first season or whatever, I've been doing this for a while, eyeing off the little choice to make it, she's lost that one. Doesn't happen often that she loses, but didn't win in that case. But she doesn't get fazed by that sort of thing. She doesn't get fazed with batters bases, because she knows that she has confidence in her own pitching, and she just has to think about it a bit more and get them out. They could be on third base. She doesn't care so much. Well, she probably does actually. Third base is a bit iffy, but certainly first or second base she doesn't care, because she knows that she'll get the next batter out, and it'll come to nothing. But so I toyed with the idea of making her a switch hitter, and I thought it was going to be really, really difficult to sort of make that adjustment between hitting right and hitting left. I thought it'd be really difficult. Turns out it's not. It's pretty easy, actually. The only problem is, and you'll notice that Bailey got given the nickname Bunty by her teammates on a Devil Rays, because she went into a period of just bunting everything, And bunting is a problem. It's not a problem. It's that's where you really notice switch hitting. Now, if she's hitting left, then to bunt properly, I have to actually push the direction of the joystick full right. Is it right? Yeah, right. And try to hit it down, sort of behind her in a way, almost. Whereas if she's batting right, she can sort of, she'll still hit it, or she'll still bunt it to the right, but she can bunt it at, say, I don't know, 20 degrees or something like that. And sort of place it halfway between the pitcher and the second baseman. But and the interesting thing about bunting too, and I don't think I've bunted at all this season, which is very different from Bailey. The thing about bunting is that it appears, and I don't know if this is true or not, but it appears that we won the game, haven't we? Yeah, we won the game. Oh, well, I'll talk about bunting in the next episode maybe. I'll see you later. Bye.